Hey guys, welcome to day 3 of our 5-day challenge, 5 days to your first digital product. So the first day was all about figuring out what your strengths are, what the tools you had. The second day was thinking about the end in mind, your audience, thinking about where they need help the most, what the gap is, looking at the industry around you of whatever the product is you want to create and seeing where is there a gap? Where are people not getting help? Where can I fit in and give an offering to somebody who might be helped with somebody's solution, but then I can actually piggyback on their audience and help them in different ways. So that was yesterday. If you missed it, there are replays below in this Facebook feed. At the end of the challenge, I don't think I've talked about this before, but there will be a recap page where all of these videos will be embedded on the page. That way you can reference it for, I believe it's 7 days. It might be extended just depending on people's reactions to it. But if you need to go back and watch any of the days, there will be that recap page at the end. Also in your emails, there are links to the previous days. So if you're missing a download, if you're missing just another email, I know some of you have emailed me and said you haven't gotten the email, so I'm going to go in today and check on all of that, make sure everything's firing off correctly in Infusionsoft. That way nobody's left behind, everyone's caught up and knows what they're doing. So today, day 3, is about gathering inspiration. So I've talked about this before, but basically I don't like to sit down to a blank canvas and just start creating something. That's not how I work well. I work well with frame of reference. I work well if someone's like, okay, I need you to create a to-do list. Now, that seems specific, but it's a little bit easier for me to visualize what I'm going to create when I've seen inspiration from other people visually. If I see something that someone designed, it might even be someone like, oh my gosh, I can't think of their name, but like maybe Anthropologie carries a specific type of planner. And I can look at that planner and say, okay, the design of that, maybe it's Rifle Paper Company. I can look at the design that somebody else has created and say, how can I translate that and create a to-do list that's inspired by that? I do best creating that way. I don't do well just off the cuff, completely random. If you were like, I want you to create a to-do list, it has cactus on it, and I want it to feel like it belongs at Target in the dollar spot section, I can visualize that. If you say something like, I want you to create a to-do list and I want it to feel like Kate Spade and have some cheeky, commentary on it, some funny, cute sayings, but I want it to feel like it belongs at Kate Spade, I can then create that for you. It's just really hard for me to just create out of nowhere, right? So I have gone back and I've assessed what I'm good at. I've gone and I've said, okay, what are the tools that I have? I don't want to spend a lot of money on this first digital product. I want to just work with what I have and create it. I know who I'm creating for because yesterday we thought about the end in mind. And hey, Colette, you have no digital products, but you want to see my face. I love you. You're so sweet, Colette. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm totally missing you, and I wish I could go visit you in Waco this weekend. And you know what? You totally should start designing digital products, Colette, because you do amazing work. I have completely cute shirts designed by you that you can then transition into something digital. So I think you should think about doing that because you're good at it. So back to thinking about our end in mind yesterday, we want to sit here. Hey, Layla. We want to sit here and really look around us and look what the market's already offering before we sit down and start actually creating these things. I talked about this yesterday. If you're creating styled stock photography and you're saying, okay, I want to create styled stock photography specifically for people that work in the beauty industry, right? But you might be pinning images on a Pinterest board of other images. It doesn't necessarily have to be beauty, but it might be something that's inspiring you from a whole different industry. It could be like hotels. It could be other styled stock photos that have nothing to do with beauty, but you just in general really like the aesthetic of that thing. It might be something like packaging. It might be something like a movie or a book that you read. Anything at all. It could be photos of someone's home. And that feeling, that overall aesthetic is going to then direct what you're creating for your digital product. Yay! Oh, hey, Jean, how's it going? I'm so glad that you're here. So I like to start with my inspiration gathering in the most obvious place, and that's Pinterest. I have got so many Pinterest boards. I have so many pins. Actually, just 2 weeks ago, I went through and I curated my entire Pinterest account because it was just too cluttered, too crazy. But I did keep very forefront is the Pinterest board that's associated with this challenge. In your email this morning, there was a link to our Pinterest board for this challenge, and it's just gathering different ideas of other digital products that people sell, which might get your creative juices flowing. So for example, you might go in there and see that someone has created a website template that's really beautiful that we added that pin board. So you might say, okay, so for people that purchase that website template, they might need styled stock photos. They might need opt-ins. They might need buttons to change their website up a little bit. They might need email templates to fit their website. There's so many things that might fit along with that product, and you can just piggyback on that other person's idea. Hey, Nicolette, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, all of our summer party people are here. Hooray! It's a good day. So click on over to that Pinterest board, see what you like in there, and start creating your own digital product inspiration Pinterest board. And you can set it as private if you'd like, but if you don't want to and you want the whole world to see what's inspiring your work, do that. I think it'd be really a fun story. Hey, Esther. And so Esther, that's a good example too. So her digital product might be something that's related to music. So that's not necessarily a super visual thing. So I wouldn't, she could pin like music, like songs, album covers into her Pinterest board. But I really want you guys to start thinking outside of the box. So in my mind, if I were to create a music piece, like a digital product, and let's go back to our first day example. Maybe I'm creating a bunch of stock music. That way people can use it for their Instagram show reels. If I were to do that and I was going to go into Pinterest and create a board about it, I would start curating things that have nothing to do with music. I would curate photos of food. I would curate photos of maybe the Eiffel Tower, Paris, the Louvre, art pieces that I see around, different French singers that I love, like Jill Barber or Madeleine Peru, different places that you could travel, like, I don't know, like Africa, the Savannah, whatever I want that music to kind of emulate when people hear it, that's what I would start pinning in my Pinterest board. Nicolette, she has templates that she's going to put on Creative Market, and if she wants to start creating different Canva templates for people, maybe in her Pinterest board she doesn't pin other Canva templates. What she might pin is home decor ideas, or she might pin plants, or she might pin fruit, or there's a number of things, fashion images, beauty images, right? Because they're just going to inspire what she's creating. So I love starting there. I love curating images there. If you don't love Pinterest, or it's just too much for you, too cluttered, or you're just better on a different platform, another thing I love to use is Instagram collections. Now, on your Instagram feed on your phone, there's a little tiny flag on the home feed, and that is where your collections are. And you can actually save images. I don't know if you guys know this already, but you can save images all over Instagram into that section of your Instagram feed. But you can create collections within that saved image section that gathers like-minded images together. So I have all kinds of collections on my feed. I have collections about styled stock photo ideas. I have collections about food. I have collections about, there's a million different things. Client work that I'm like, I love this. Graphics, art. I have all kinds of stuff created. I can actually do a screencast video of my different collections that you can go through just to see how my brain works. If Instagram is your first love and that's where you want to start curating your ideas, use that. It's a great place. Mojitos, 100%, Jean. Cocktails, there's all kinds of things that could inspire your designs. And again, do not make it super literal. I know a lot of you struggle with that. You feel like you have to gather ideas of the same product you're making. You don't. Please think outside the box, right? I love that IG feed tool too. And I will show you guys, I know Sarah, I think, has asked me before, I want to see behind the scenes of your collections. If you guys think that's helpful, I can totally do that. So I would like you guys to start creating either your own Pinterest boards, your own collections, and then in the comments below this video, I would love for you guys to put links to it so we can all see what you're pinning and even give ideas. Like what my favorite thing to do is creating a Pinterest board and sharing it with either clients or business partners or creating collaborations with people. And then that way I get to see little snippets of how their brain works. Because remember, I know a lot of you know this, but if I look at a picture, maybe it's a photo that Magnolia Table has posted and we see it, it's a beautiful restaurant, we love it, we're obsessed with it. I see different things than maybe Nicolette or Jean or Colette sees from that same photo. We pick out different things in our minds that we're attracted to. To me, I might see the floor and be like, that floor is gorgeous. I want tile like that in my house. That black and white tile and those patterns really inspire me to create this thing. Nicolette might see something like the leather chairs and then the wood chairs at the juxtaposition of textures. And she might say, in my next opt-in, I'm going to create like a leather texture because I love just the feel of that juxtaposition. Jean might see it, and she might see the planter boxes and the cool succulents that they have in there and say, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create an opt-in that has like a succulent pattern in the background. You never know, right? You never know what one thing people can pick out from that really inspires them. And so I encourage you guys to share your inspiration boards, however you put them together, whether on Pinterest or Instagram. Give people a peek into it and then allow and ask for input, especially from the people from yesterday that you have interviewed, right? So if you had talked to somebody that's a business coach and you're creating a planner for business coaches or a social media calendar for them, start pinning things in this Pinterest board, invite them to pin with you, or just show it to them in a meeting, maybe on Zoom. You can do a screen share and say, does this feel like something you would buy? If I created something that's inspired by this collection, does that feel like something you'd invest money in, right? Feedback, y'all. Feedback at every step of the journey will save you so much time and will save you guesswork. Most of us are just going through this digital product creation and in general services and product in general, and we're just throwing spaghetti at the wall. We're all just guessing what people think about it. Why not ask? It's so much easier to ask for feedback and input, especially if you have past clients you can reach out to or a specific person's audience. Like, for example, if Amy Porterfield's Courses that Convert Facebook group is the audience that I'm trying to target, and I'm creating a social media marketing plan for people to promote a course when it launches, because maybe she didn't include that, but that's a strength that I have and I want to deliver that as a digital product. I could create a Pinterest board. I can set up a meeting and talk to these people and say, do you actually need that? And they say, yes, I would love that. Cool. I'm going to create these ideas. Does this work for you? Give me your feedback. I would love to hear what you think. And then you can decide what you want them to pay you. But by asking for the feedback, by gathering ideas, by doing all of this legwork ahead of time, you save yourself from creating something that no one wants. And that's what I hear all the time is people will create something, they'll launch it out in the world, and it's crickets, right? And they're super bummed about it. It's really discouraging to spend a ton of time and effort building something that then when you launch it to the world, you don't get a lot of feedback from, or nobody seems to want it, and you just don't know what to do. And you're like, because then it's hard, right? You're like, where's the gap? Like, where did I miss the mark? Is it the actual product itself? Was it the marketing? Where was the glitch in the matrix? Where did I not hit the mark? Well, if you ask for feedback as you are building it, if you're building it for a specific person in mind and you're custom creating it for them, but then it's something you can also sell to the masses, you have a way better chance of hitting the mark and hitting your goals if you've actually asked for their opinion as you're building it, right? Just helps in the heartache, my opinion. So if you guys have questions about this topic, please let me know in the comments below. If you have struggles creating those Pinterest boards because you've never done it before, or your Instagram collections, let me know as well. I will do a screencast video and post it here on this page. That way you guys can look and see, oh, this is how she uses her collections. If you've never done that before, it's pretty easy. And then I would love to hear your guys' input about any roadblocks you're having on any of the other days. So please let me know in the comments, or you can send me an email, info@rosemary-watson.com. And last thing, if you guys want to share this with your own audiences, I would absolutely love that. What's funny is we've actually doubled signups to this challenge as the challenge has been going, because you guys have been so awesome sharing it. So I really appreciate you guys. That's so awesome of you. And I will see you guys here tomorrow at 11:30 to talk about day 4.